Hello student, I am Shalini Murmu, Contractual Assistant Professor from Ghatshila College. Today we will talk about the synthesis of thyroid hormones. And as we have seen in the pituitary gland lecture that the anterior pituitary secretes the TSH, that is thyroid stimulating hormone, to regulate the synthesis and release of thyroid hormones from the thyroid gland. So when the TSH binds to its receptors in the thyroid follicular cells, the synthesis of thyroid hormone starts. So we can see that the iodine, that is in the form of iodide ion, is taken up by the follicular cells along with the sodium ion, and it is done by the sodium iodide symportal, that is also known as iodine trap. And what happens next is iodide ion is transported to the lumen of the follicle, and the synthesis of thyroid hormone can be described as three major steps, that is the production and accumulation of the raw materials, and the synthesis of thyroid hormone, and last the release of thyroid hormones. So synthesis of thyroid hormones require two important precursors, that is iodine and the tyrosine, that is present in the thyroglobulin molecule. Thyroglobulin is actually a large glycoprotein molecule that is synthesized in the follicular cell itself. So the thyroglobulin molecule is synthesized inside the cell itself, you can see, and it is released to the lumen of the follicle by the process known as exocytosis. So what happens next is there is an enzyme present in the plasma membrane of the luminar side, that is called as thyroid peroxidase. So next step is the oxidation of iodide ion to form iodine, so that it can be incorporated into the thyroglobulin molecule. So after the oxidation of iodide ion, it is added to the thyroglobulin molecule, and the iodination of thyroglobulin molecule, this process is also known as organification. So first the single iodine is added to the thyroglobulin molecule to the tyrosine residue and it forms the monoiodotyrosine. And similarly, when two iodine are attached to the tyrosine of the thyroglobulin molecule, it forms the diiodotyrosine. And then after, the formation of T3 and T4 take place. When one monoiodotyrosine and one diiodotyrosine are coupled, they form the triiodothyronine molecule. And when two diiodotyrosine molecules are coupled, they form tetraiodothyronine or thyroxine hormone. Then after the synthesis of T3 and T4 hormone, as it is still tied up with the thyroglobulin molecule, it is taken back by the cell along with the colloid by the process of endocytosis. And inside the cell, the endosome that contains the thyroglobulin with T3 and T4 hormone, it fuses with the lysosome, and the enzymes present inside the lysosome break down the thyroglobulin molecule and releases the T3 and T4 hormone. And now the free T3 and T4 hormone are released into the bloodstream, where the majority of these hormones are bind to the thyroxine binding protein, that is thyroxine binding globulin. So we can see the step by step whatever I have discussed. That first the follicular cells synthesizes enzymes and thyroglobulin for colloid. Then the iodide ion is co-transported into the cell with sodium and transported into the colloid. The next enzyme add iodine to thyroglobulin to make T3 and T4, and before the enzyme add iodine, there is oxidation of iodide ion to form the iodine. And then the thyroglobulin is taken back into the cell, and then intracellular enzymes, that is lysosomal enzymes, separate the T3 and T4 from the glycoprotein thyroglobulin. And finally, the free T3 and T4 hormone enter the circulation. So we have seen the synthesis of thyroid hormones. One important thing that I want to tell you is that, as we have seen, that iodine is an essential component of the thyroid hormones. So in previous lecture we have discussed the hyposecretion and oversecretion of the thyroid hormones. So we have seen the, in case of hypothyroidism, that is hyposecretion of thyroid hormones, goiter is developed, and that is the enlargement of the thyroid gland. So the main cause of the development of goiter is the iodine deficiency. And when the thyroid gland could not get the iodine to synthesize the thyroid hormones, that it needs, the thyroid gland works extra hard to make the thyroid hormones, and in this process the thyroid gland become enlarged. So that you have to remember. Okay student, I hope you have understood the entire process of the synthesis of thyroid hormones in the thyroid gland. Thank you.